Hey everybody, it's GiGi of GiGi Eats Celebrities, and I'm so stoked to be back in my kitchen. That being said, I'm not going to be cooking a recipe for all of you today, which I apologize for. However, what I am going to be doing in the kitchen today is talking to all of you about candy. Okay, just kidding, we're not talking about candy, because we all know at this point that candy is not healthy for you and not something you should be consuming on a regular basis. However, what I am going to be talking to you about is something that I like to call glorified candy. And this glorified candy sometimes has as much, if not more, sugar than, say, a Snickers bar, and is sometimes comprised of exactly the same things as a Snickers bar, like nuts, creamy caramel, coated in chocolate, and infused with artificial flavors. Have you guessed what I'm going to be talking about today? Well, if you haven't, let me tell you, protein bars. That's right, guys, I am doing another Healthy Food Fakers right here in the kitchen because I'm so happy that it's back in working order. Now, if you guessed I was going to be talking about protein bars, well then you win a free box of protein bars. Okay, just kidding, I am not a hypocrite. However, I do have a bunch of links to protein bar recipes in the description below that are pretty great and awesome alternatives to the bullshit that you can find on store shelves. Now, I have heard time and time again, oh, I want to bulk up. I need to eat a lot of protein. I gotta eat all of these protein bars so I can get swole, guys, swole. Whoa. These kinds of statements make me want to take a big, rock-hard protein bar and smack whoever says it across their face. Okay, let me back up a hot minute. These days, there are okay, and just okay, protein bars on the market. But reading labels is 1000% paramount when it comes to buying protein bars. And also, these only okay protein bars should not be an everyday occurrence. They're really only necessary if there are no other whole food options available. For example, if you're on a road trip and there are no food stops within a 20 to 50 mile radius. Or maybe you're at work and you have stashed emergency protein bars in your desk for those moments where you forget your lunch at home, forgot to eat breakfast, or you just didn't eat enough. Then an okay protein bar is acceptable. However, as I said, it's 1000% paramount that you read these labels before buying these glorified candy bars. Because yes, a majority of these protein bars are basically just candy bars dressed up in fancy packaging. Since you all know that candy equals sugar, let's talk about the sugar that can be found in a whole host of these protein bars on the market. First off, I'm pretty sure you guys all know that sugar has been linked to a whole host of negative health issues. Increased heart disease, diabetes, cancer, depression, and sugar can even accelerate the skin aging process. Oh, and it can also cause acne too. And don't get me started on how it can actually increase cellular aging and can lead to fatty liver disease. Oh, and I'm sure you guys knew that sugar can ruin your teeth too. Wow, sugar, you sound amazing. Please dump some in my mouth. Now, before you actually swallow that sugary protein bar that you might have in your hand right now, let's take the brand Power Bar as an example for our sugar comparison to a candy bar. Power Bar's Protein Plus Bar Chocolate Brownie has 21 grams of sugar. And guess what? A Krispy Kreme donut has 12.6 grams. Or you could consume 6 Oreos for the same amount of sugar. Oh, and guess what? Power Bar isn't even the worst offender out there in terms of how much sugar it contains. There's a brand out there called Amazing Grass, which touts itself to being a, quote, superfood company, and they certainly take the cake. Seriously though, guys, the sugar content in their bars are like as much as a cake. But no, for real, from what my findings have found, their green superfood, the original, quote, protein bar, it only has 6 grams of protein in it, by the way, has guess how many grams of sugar? 25 grams. 25. And I almost fell out of my chair. Oh, but wait, I'm not sitting right now. I'm actually standing, so never mind. Also, I'm not gonna lie, the packaging on this Amazing Grass protein bar is frickin' hideous. So hopefully that deters you from wanting to even try it to begin with. Now, sugar isn't the only problem with these glorified candy bars. Believe it or not, despite the high sugar content, there are other ingredients lurking within. Partially hydrogenated oils, or in other words, trans fatty acids, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about what those are. are and how they're not good for you whatsoever, as they've been linked to heart disease. High fructose corn syrup, or in other words, it's another form of sugar, which is even worse for your liver than regular glucose. Food colorings, which have been linked to attention disorders, allergic reactions, and tumor growth. And then, of course, there are artificial sugars and artificial flavors, which have been linked to digestive issues, and some have come to the conclusion that these things actually are linked to tumor growth. Yep, those ingredients suck. Yeah, they just suck, so try your best not to suck them up. But now you're probably wondering why I didn't mention protein in the list of ingredients lurking within protein bars. And well, that's because protein deserves its own solo tirade. As you may have seen, there are so many different types of protein lurking within protein bars. Most notably, soy protein isolate. Now, if you might recall from my last Healthy Food Fakers video, I mentioned how soy is god-awful for you. So instead of making this video even longer than it has to, I'm going to link to that video in the description below so you can get a refresher on why soy is not the best for your health. Another protein that's extremely popular is whey protein. Whey protein is a protein derived from milk, so if you have a sensitivity to dairy, then you need to nix this ingredient from your diet altogether. However, if you don't, then you'd probably be interested to know that this protein is quickly digested, which is why weightlifters love it. You know, you see all of them hashtagging gains when you see them drinking some sort of whey protein drink. Now, if you can in fact have whey protein, what I highly recommend is that you look for a grass-fed and grass-finished whey protein bar, because it contains far more omega-3 fatty acids than its conventional, let's call it cousin, if you will. Now, I've talked about this before, and I will talk about it again because it's so frickin' important. Grass-fed and grass-finished cows are far superior to grain-fed and grain-finished cows, even grass-fed and grain-finished cows. Now, if it does not specify that it was grass-finished, then it's not, and you're eating garbage whey protein. And the same can be said for casein protein, which is another derivative of milk. Now, casein protein is actually a slow digesting protein that has been seen to reduce muscle breakdown. So those are the two protein powders that are derived from dairy that you've probably seen pretty much everywhere. You can't run away from them because sadly they're here to stay. But I do love the fact that grass-fed and grass-finished is becoming more prominent on the market. Now, there's another protein powder on the market that I actually really like, and it's egg protein. The reason why I like it and highly recommend it is because eggs have proved to be a perfect food, supplying us with high-quality protein, and egg protein has been shown to keep us fuller longer. So you won't go looking for another protein bar in like an hour. Now, if you can't stomach eggs and you feel queasy after eating dairy, there is another protein powder on the market that I want to talk about: vegan protein powders. Yeah, they have been exploding on the market these days, and that's great because vegans need some protein in their lives too. Hemp protein, pea protein, brown rice protein, chia seed protein, artichoke protein. Yes, everybody, vegetables have protein. However, vegetables are not complete protein, so my advice for you when looking for a protein bar that's vegan is to find a protein bar that has a mixture of these different proteins within them, and also make sure it's low sugar. For instance, pea protein is high in all essential amino acids except for methionine, something that hemp protein would fill the gap of. And speaking of hemp, it's full of omega-3 fatty acids, which is amazing for heart health along with so many other things. Whew! Gosh, I feel like I'm throwing up so much information at all of you right now. But guess what? There's more. So stick with me, please, guys. Just stick with me. Concentrates, isolates, hydrolysates. Have you guys seen these words before on packaging for protein bars? I'm pretty sure that you have. Well, concentrates are produced by extracting protein from whole foods using heat and acid or enzymes. They typically contain about 60 to 80% protein, with the remaining 20 to 30% of calories from fat and carbs. Then we have isolates, which go through another filtering step that removes additional fat and carbs, further concentrating the protein. Now, protein isolate powders contain 90 to 95% protein. And then we have hydrolysates, which are produced by further heating with acid or enzymes, which breaks down the bonds between amino acids. This allows your body to absorb them even more quickly and your muscles to take them up more easily. There's so much information. Guys, do you really want to eat a protein bar now? Like, it's just, I hope I turned you off from them. I'm sorry, I have to keep going because there's still more information I have to tell you. Sugar-free protein bars. Yeah, I know, you guys have all seen them. Quest bars. Yeah, you've seen those. And I have to talk about them because they've been popping up literally everywhere these days, thanks to all these companies being like, ooh, I need to capitalize off the fact that everyone thinks sugar is the devil. Well, it is the devil. However, to all of you protein companies out there who are creating sugar-free protein bars, yeah, you guys aren't exactly the best either. Sure, these protein bars have no sugar in them, so they might be a little bit better than the ones that are filled with sugar. That being said, you could really just consider them the diet versions of regular beverages because they're still not that great. Let me recite an anecdote for you. John grabs 2 1 bars. Yes, I am calling out 1 bar in this little anecdote. And he grabs them from the supermarket before heading to work. He really wanted to celebrate his birthday again, which was actually 4 months ago. So he picked up one of the birthday cake flavored bars that they have. And he also missed breakfast, so he picked up a cinnamon roll flavor as well, thinking, hey, look, breakfast, ha ha. While on the bus heading to work, John smashed that birthday cake into his mouth. While it didn't quite taste like the real deal he ate 4 months ago with his cat, it did have rainbow sprinkles studded in it, and rainbow sprinkles just make everything better. After about an hour at work, he heard his stomach grumbling and was like, oh my gosh, I'm hungry, I need to eat something else. So he reached into his drawer, grabbed his quote breakfast, and scarfed that baby down thinking, yeah, mom would be proud. She always said that breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day. But then he realized he wasn't actually hungry before scarfing down that breakfast. No, that was his stomach telling him that he has to go to the bathroom. He shot up from his desk so fast and made a beeline right to the men's room, only to realize that it was closed for maintenance. Terrified about what was to happen next, he made a mad dash for that stairwell and bolted down the stairs so fast that Usain Bolt would have been impressed. But he wasn't fast enough. Nope. Sorry, John. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm referring to. However, let me tell you why this happened to John. Isomaltooleosaccharides, malitol, glycerin. All 3 of these ingredients may have a laxative effect. And for John, they did just that. Oh, and these protein bars have dairy in them as well. And let's just say that John has a sensitivity to dairy too. But seriously, that is the main issue when it comes to sugar-free protein bars. Running the risk of sharding. Yes, I said sharding, but seriously, I have to be blunt. I'm trying to make a point here. Speaking of being blunt, I have to be completely blunt when I say the only perfect protein bar on the market, a piece of chicken, a piece of grass-fed and finished steak, a piece of grilled salmon, quinoa. Sorry guys. When it comes to eating protein on the go, for the gains, I recommend that you plan in advance. Grill up some chicken breast or cook some quinoa prior to having to run out the door. This might mean that you have to watch a few minutes less of television, or you have to get up a tiny bit earlier in the morning. But your health, digestive system, and pants will thank you. Speaking of prepping in advance, as I mentioned earlier, I have some awesome protein bar recipes in the description below that are sugar-free and are comprised of really healthy protein, if you do in fact want to continue eating bars. So check those recipes out instead of going to the supermarket and getting super overwhelmed by an assortment of processed, glorified candy bars. Okay, I'm done now. That was the longest spiel ever, but it was so worth every second of it because I really hope you guys learned something about protein bars. Now, the same information could be associated with protein powders as well, so use this information for when you're looking for protein powders as well. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through this video. I really appreciate you watching. Do let me know in the comments below what you've learned from this video, the biggest takeaway, and also I want to hear what protein bars you're eating currently if you are at all, and if they are in fact not the best of types, maybe I can help recommend something else for you. Anyways, hopefully next week in this kitchen you'll see me cooking, but you never know because I want to keep you guessing. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.